today. Thanks, Ricky. Thank you to the media. I know it was an advisory late last night. Just going to throw it open to the floor to start with. There's plenty of time for questions, so you'll all get a go. Please put your hands up. Tell us who you are, where you're from. Ken, do you want to kick us off?
What have you done for today, Ricky? What are you going to tell us?
I think you know most of the reason. I think with John Inverarity announcing the one-day squad for the next couple of games, obviously I've been left out of that and dropped from the one-day international team, which I'm disappointed about. But life goes on for me. I totally understand the reasons behind me being left out of the side. My performances over the last 5 games haven't warranted me staying in the team. So I've been left out of that, and John's made it pretty clear the reasons why and the direction that they want to take with the one-day team going forward. I'll continue playing Test cricket, yeah, and I'll continue playing cricket for Tasmania as well. So, I think I've proven to myself and everybody else that I'm still capable of dominating Test cricket as I did in the last series against India, and I'm looking forward to getting back and playing the last couple of Shield games for Tasmania this year, and then heading to the West Indies hopefully with some runs under my belt.
You've had lean patches before in the one-day arena. Did they pull the trigger too early in this instance, do you think? Were they a bit premature?
Oh, look, at the end of the day, I'm my best selector. If I'd have scored runs in these 5 games, then obviously I wouldn't have been dropped. So I've left the door open for them to make the decision that they've made yesterday. That's the way I'm looking at it. The reason I'm disappointed about getting dropped is of how much I actually love representing my country and playing cricket for Australia. I've got no bitterness at all at what's happened. I totally understand the reasons why, and the national selection panel are looking forward to building a team for the next World Cup, of which right at the moment and probably going forward, I'm not part of their plans, which I understand.
Well, it does thin out your involvement at the top level, doesn't it? You're going to have sporadic international cricket now. Is that going to hamper you?
That's something I have to manage. I've had a little bit of a chance to think about that over the last 12 hours. This is all pretty rushed and something I've never really had to think much about before. But as international cricketers, you're always trying to find the best way to prepare for each game that you play, and quite often it's not always perfect preparation. So, once. Now, with the 2 Shield games that I've got before the West Indies tour, it's important that I spend as much time as I can around the Tasmanian team and get the training required and preparation required to play those games well, and then go to the Caribbean. And once again, when we get back from there, it'll be back into a pre-season, maybe with my club team, Mowbray Cricket Club, back in Tassie. They might see a bit more of me as well, but a pre-season with Tasmania to make sure I'm ready to go at the start of the next Australian summer.
So does this mean that you're not effectively retiring from one-day cricket? You'll still be playing whatever cricket you're picked for?
Look, John made it very clear to me yesterday the direction that they're heading with the one-day team, and that I'm not part of their plans. So, look, it's a little bit hard to come here today and say I'm retiring when I've already been left out of the side. So, I don't expect to play one-day international cricket for Australia anymore, and I'm pretty sure the selectors don't expect to have to pick me either.
I was just going to ask basically the same thing. Did you ever think when they dropped you from the one-day side that you would give away Test cricket, or were you always firmly of the belief that you would go on?
Look, I'm still firmly of the belief that I've got a lot to offer any cricket team that I play in and any team that I'm a part of. With the Indian Test series going the way that it did for me only a few weeks ago, reinforced that I still have what it takes to be, as I said, a dominant player at international level in the Test arena. So, did the thought come into my mind? The thing that I thought about most yesterday was just how I was going to manage my time and to be well prepared to play every Test match that I play for the remainder of my career. That obviously now with no one-day international cricket, that becomes a little bit more difficult for me, but there are other players around Australia at the moment that play Test match cricket only, and I've seen it in the past with Steve Waugh and Mark Tata and David Boone and those guys. When they had retired from one-day cricket, they managed to play Test match cricket only and play it well. So, I've got some things that I've got to look at and work out, but no, I'm really excited now to get the chance to play a couple of games for Tassie and then see how many more Test matches I can play for Australia.
Steve Waugh had a farewell tour of 4 Tests, obviously. He retired at the beginning of the summer. Mark Waugh played until he got dropped. Where do you see your career ending in that spectrum?
I haven't had a lot of time to think about that just yet. I mean, this has all happened, really quickly for me, and the passion for the international game of cricket for me has not died or changed one little bit, and I've made it very clear right through the Australian summer this year that I still don't see a finish line as far as my international career is concerned. And it's probably now that one-day cricket isn't there anymore. We all know that day is coming closer and closer for me. But look, I don't think I'm the sort of person that's going to want to have a massive farewell series. I'll make a decision when I think that I can't contribute to winning games of cricket for Australia, and that's all that's been motivating me for the last 12 months is to be the player that I know I can be and to do the best that I can for the Australian cricket team and try and win games of cricket. And when those feelings, if you like, die off, then it'll be time for me to hang up the boots.
So Ricky, it doesn't worry you that you might be told when your Test career is over, rather than you walking away in your own terms. It doesn't seem to worry you that might be the scenario you'll end up with.
Well, I thought a little bit about that yesterday afternoon when I found out about being dropped from this side, and I've always been of the belief that I don't mind people trying things and failing, and that's the way I'm looking at it as well. I tried my best over the last 5 games to be the best player that I could be and to win games of cricket for Australia. Unfortunately, I couldn't do that and I failed, and I've been dropped from the one-day side. But to tell the honest truth, I didn't actually really see this coming either. I had no communication from selectors that it might have happened through this series, but at the end of the day, as I said, it's my job as an international batsman to score runs, and I haven't done that in the last few games. Only if it ends badly, but I'm backing myself to finish the game and finish my career on a high. I don't want to finish on a low, and I think I'll make the right decision at the right time. There's no doubt about that.
You mentioned state cricket is a Ryobi Cup an option for you next summer as well, or it's just going to be Shield?
No, that's an option. I'm not retiring from, or not going to play all forms of one-day cricket. I've got some stuff to think about even on this weekend with a Ryobi Cup final coming up on Saturday. So I've got a bit of thinking to do there and a bit of communication to do with the Tasmanian coaches and players. But once again, I need to be playing as much cricket as I can to be well prepared for every game that I play. But with me now only playing Test match cricket, international Test match cricket, then for next summer, for instance, if there happen to be some Ryobi Cup games immediately before a Test match or between Test matches, then I'd obviously look at taking that opportunity to play those games.
Is it a bigger surprise given the fact that Johnny already said he actually rang you about the captaincy to fill in for those 2 games, and you weren't jumping at it, but you said you do it to help the team, and then 2 games later they dropped it?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what happened. I was reluctant to take on the captaincy for the reasons that other guys had been named vice captain. I thought there was an opportunity there for David Warner in particular to get a bit of experience in what it's like to actually lead a cricket team, but they were reluctant to do that, and I think John's explained the reasons why. So that really just left me with a decision to make whether I wanted to do it, and I honestly felt deep down that it was best for the team that I took that role on and tried to get the team through the last couple of games in the best way possible. So with the amount of experience that I had, it was probably a pretty easy decision. I think I captained nearly 170 games, so it was going to come a bit easier to me than it was going to come to someone that had never captained international cricket before. So yeah, look, I took that on, almost put my neck on the line a little bit for the team, but that's what I've always done and that's what I always continue to do.
Ricky, given that there's a significant gap between the end of the Caribbean Tour and the start of the next Test against South Africa here, is county cricket an option for you? Would you consider a season of county cricket just to keep in touch?
Look, once again, I haven't had a chance to think about that either, and to be totally honest, I think most of the county sides would already have their international players signed in and locked in for next season anyway. I mean, their season starts in a couple of months, so there's all sorts of things I've got to consider. Probably at the moment that's an outside chance for me to go and play county cricket, but yeah, there's no doubt that I need to be as well prepared as possible for, I think it's the start of November when the Test series in Australia starts, but I'll have a good opportunity to play a number of first-class games for Tasmania, hopefully before the Test season next summer.
Was there any point yesterday where you considered giving it all away?
No, I just had to have a look at and assess how easy or how hard it was going to be for me in the immediate future with how much cricket I had on or didn't have